Philippine President Rodrigo Duterte, who has just completed a 3-day visit to Japan, has distanced himself from the United States with some radical remarks. Meanwhile, he is rapidly forming close ties with China. At the same time, he has demonstrated a pro-Japanese stance with an emphasis on bilateral cooperation. Where is he heading with his diplomatic policy? Today is the last day of President Duterte's visit to Japan. He landed on a Japan Coast Guard patrol vessel in a helicopter and inspected a training exercise which included the pursuit of an unspecified boat.
It was a very productive visit. Japan is the #1 donor in terms of assistance and help.
President Duterte drew attention each time he spoke.
You can go to hell. Mr. Obama, you can go to hell.
It's like saying, I am a dog on a leash. That is what America wants me to be.
Duterte has continued to use sharp language to criticize the United States.
Veering towards China. I want to establish a more cohesive, a stronger bond between China and the Philippines.
The Philippines has been embroiled in a territorial dispute with China over the South China Sea. But Duterte visited the country and agreed to temporarily shelve the issue, securing a pledge for economic assistance worth about 2.5 trillion yen. Attention was focused on whether Duterte's unique diplomatic policy could affect Japan as well. Since his arrival, Duterte displayed his strong affinity for Japan. In talks with Prime Minister Shinzo Abe, he suggested that the Philippines and Japan share a common understanding on disputes in the South China Sea.
We are and you can rest assured, and I give you my word, that we will stand when the time comes.
At the joint news conference,
Japan is the Philippines' special friend who is closer than a brother.
At the summit, Duterte secured pledges from Japan for about 5 billion yen in loans and some large patrol vessels. He was successful in obtaining support from Japan as well as China. Duterte has concluded his 3-day trip to Japan and left for home a short while ago. Where is the Philippine president heading with his diplomatic policy? He is keeping his distance from the United States while rapidly approaching Japan and China. It is believed that his diplomatic policy focuses on how he can secure economic assistance from foreign countries. At the beginning of yesterday's meeting with Prime Minister Abe, President Duterte affirmed that the purpose of his overseas trips is to focus on economic issues. When he visited China, Duterte responded to Chinese expectations by saying he would resolve the South China Sea issue through talks with China. In Japan, he reassured the Japanese government by saying he stands with Japan on the issue of the South China Sea. As a result, President Duterte has successfully secured large-scale economic assistance from both China and Japan. Meanwhile, he has sharply criticized the United States. Attention is being paid to how he will address bilateral relations with the United States, which have suffered due to his remarks.